white people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front this is what we're dealing with, that it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually. So even when you're on your path to trying to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human, like that actually instead of people of color and black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy, that y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons. So in this particular way, white people are all racist. So I just want y'all to know that up front.
So, yeah, white people, they're all racist. According to this broad who wants to make money off of white people being racist. Isn't that a fucking coinky-dink? What a... what a wonderful thing she has going for her. She has her PayPal right next to all white people are racist. She just wants to stop racism. She wants to stop it. She needs to stop obesity. Okay, so what is this about? This is an impromptu little thing. Let me try to move over here and sort myself out. Gotta clean my room. Okay, this is an impromptu thing. Someone on Twitter by the name of... Let me move this beast out of the way. The Great Indoors 1979 was discussing racism with me, and we disagree, so I invited him on. That's pretty much what this is about. Okay. Let's see. Where did this start? This probably started when I began talking about racism. I should not have done it. I am such a fool, an idiot. I need to be checked and or wrecked. I need to check. So he's gonna be on. I sent him the Hangout link. I'm just gonna wait here. If he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't show up, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, racism. Racism. I wrote an article and did a video talking about a allegory I came up with. Excuse me. On racism in particular, because I don't really believe it exists. At least I don't really buy it off the bat. There has to be evidence. And as far as I'm concerned, there isn't any evidence. So we can get to that. Let's see. Chat is really, really pumped. How you doing, chat? We're just waiting. Just wait a bit more, I guess. So, this is how it started. It said, is race a real concept? Is tribalism a real concept? If both the answers are yes, then racism is a real concept. My 2 cents. And I wrote an article on the subject, which you can find the link of it in the description. And I basically don't buy that. Because they make distinctions more than race. And most people, meaning 99.9% of people, do this. And if they don't do this, then there's usually some kind of mental or psychological disorder that needs to be addressed. Most people, even the racists, look into more factors than merely just race. And I wrote here, when we view others, we take in the whole of that person in the moment. We notice body language, clothing, hair color, eye color, height, weight, voice, if they speak, smell, as well as skin color. Even this is not all. We take into account not only the person's voice, but what they are saying, how they say it, and more importantly, what actions they take, not to mention the results of those actions. If we know this to be true, why is it so easy for us to believe in the concept of racism, or that we may be racist? Very simple. I seriously am doubting that racism exists because too many people have decided to make their money off of it and provide little to no evidence that it actually exists. just a theory, a race theory. Okay, let's see. So yeah, we'll talk about that as soon as he comes on. So how's chat doing today? Did y'all see what happened up at Boston? Boston's pretty great now, right? It's free speech. Oh my gosh. Oh no. What is this world coming to? What is this world? Why is this happening? What is this? Boston was a nothing burger. Yeah, I actually last night had a theory. I woke up last night and I was like, well, what if no one shows up? Because Vernaculus is out there. And I was like, well, what if no one shows up to Boston and they just trolled a bunch of Antifa into, you know, using their allowance for going to Boston and doing absolutely nothing. Kind of weird. It is a fate you've wrought on yourself, Clark. Yes, I should not be on the internet. Seriously, I should just disappear. Disappear? I mean, look at even Rich, even Spencer. Look at he didn't.
I could smell the Antifa activist from yards away. The foul stench of never bathing.
Did he talk about race? No. It's kind of like it's so fucking funny. Even when he's talking, I saw his interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, and when he was talking about race, he was taking into other factors. He was taking into behaviors of different communities. That's it. He's just naive in his belief that race actually determines. He believes race is more meaningful than what it is, but what he's actually doing is he's taking in more factors than what he believes he's taking. If that makes any sense, it's almost as if it's a kid who is just afraid. I guess I don't know, but he's a really bad example of a leader anyway, of a person who actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. So, god damn. So we shall wait. We shall wait. I don't want to send it like on Twitter because then other people might join. Possibly, but I sent it through the messages, so it might okay, I'll wait a good 20-30 minutes, and if he doesn't show, I'm gonna cry into my coffee like a good girl should. Oh man, we can watch some of the Boston Free Speech rally. You guys want to do that? We can do that. We can do that. We'll do that. Shame! Oh my god, look at all these powerful people. They're like surrounding this guy. And they're shouting shame. This is beautiful. And he took off his fucking hat. Big red hat. Like, fuck him. Shame, shame, shame. Oh god. Stop pretending your racism is patriotism. Racism again with the racism. Again, where it does not exist. It's just a coincidence, guys. They just use racism where it doesn't exist. Yeah, but it exists, guys. It exists. Somewhere. Out there. Somewhere. We just gotta find it. We gotta point it out, and then they'll suddenly not become racist. They won't. It won't happen. They'll just see their wrong ways, and then they'll just flog themselves to death. They'll just fucking do that. If you're racist or sexist, we need to point it out, and then have you put in jail, and then crucify you. It's like, even if, let's say there was racism. Oh, fuck, I'm offline. Oh, the stream resumed? The stream resumed? Let me take this off. I feel like just taking this off and doing the Google Hangout one. Let's see. My stream health is so bad. My stream health is the worst. Let's see here. Okay, so my video output is low. Let's see here. Okay, so now my stream health seems to be better. Yay! Does the stream health need ancient Japanese secret? Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it fucking does. See, some people can see me and some people can't. That's, you know what? I might as well just do Google Hangout. I'll wait till he comes on because that would be a waste. That'd be a fucking waste, eh? If I were to, do that. Shame, 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 shame. And then we have CNN unmasking the leftist Antifa movement. Activists seek peace through violence. What did I fucking say about Berkeley? It was a peaceful seizing. Fuck you. It was a peaceful seizing. This is just so stupid. Oh gosh, this is so stupid. This is hilarious. They are going to rewrite history and everyone's going to have to eat it. They're gonna just have to swallow it and eat it with a sip of tap water. Turn you gay. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's from Wisconsin. Yep. I hang around from people from Wisconsin and Chicago and Minnesota. Let's see here. Yes, McCarthy was right and shit. Yes, he was. They was communists and shit. That's exactly what happened. I'm going to force people to read 1984. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if people can read. Being a bit racist there. Let's see. What else is on the docket for today? While we wait for our inevitable doom. Speaking of doom, what the fuck is this piece of shit? Confederate flag looking tiles to be removed from Subway. What? I can't just help but laugh at this shit. Who, you're busy, you're walking by with your coffee, you're just walking by on the subway and you see, oh my god, is that racism? Is that racism on the wall? We have to stop that. We have to get that the fuck out of here. Confederate. I'm just having my coffee in New York and I walked by. She calls the cops. Can you imagine someone calling the cops over this shit? I'm just having my coffee, officer, and I saw that this. I was walking by and at the corner of my eye there was racism. Man, would you please calm down, man? But there was racism. There was racism on the tiles. There was a racist symbol. We gotta do something. Oh, somebody said the boogeyman is a racist term. The boogeyman is a movie, isn't it? Is a... I'm not gonna... Should I say... Is blaxploitation a bad word now? Like, is it bad? I do not know. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know a lot of things. Just retarded. Oh, and Heartful Opinions has been permanently suspended. Makes sense, guys. Don't ask me. It just makes sense. Oh man, what is going on here? Richard Spencer. He didn't care about me and my tire. You have to do something about him. Oh man. People are going insane. People are literally going insane. I love it. It's not a merchant accent, it's a loomer accent. That's what I imagine she sounds like. Oh man. Let me check my notifications. It better not be nothing naughty. Better not. Okay. It's not nothing naughty. You guys aren't really nice people. Not sending me horrible images of my tire being popped. It was attacked by a very sharp dreidel. Oh my gosh. It was attacked by a very sharp dreidel. I saw him. He ran. He dropped the dreidel. It had a big knife attached to it. I saw it. I can't believe she believed we would buy that her tire was attacked. They attacked it. Oh god. Oh no. Oh, here's some more money making. Gerald. I'll say it in a Yenta voice, fine. Oh man, let's see this shit. I was beaten by white supremacists. You know, this dude made over $80,000 off of getting beat up by white supremacists. $80,000. White guilt pays, man. White guilt pays. It's amazing. White guilt is amazing. Oh man. Disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, that little giggling retard throws hot coffee at my Uncle Alex Jones. That was fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. Let's see. I don't... What time is it? It's almost 1:30. Oh my god. No, I'm not true Portuguese, but I like the language. It's a very sexy language. Beautiful language. Oh, this is the dude. Nigga had a mask and a weapon attacking people, but cried and went to GoFundMe when white dudes got him. Got him. I was attacked by the white supremacists. Why is Uncle Alex so mad all the time? Well, it's just a little thing called 1776 will commence again if Piers Morgan isn't deported. He needs to be deported. This man needs to get the fuck out. Needs to go back. He needs to go back. It's a damn red coat. We got protesters digging up body of Confederate general in Memphis because they're peacefully seizing it, guys. They're not just, you know, the left will seize property for progress. This is for progress. They want to just dig it up a little. They want to add some flowers. That's what they want to do. Oh my gosh. Alex got attacked by 3 commie demons on the street. Goblins. They were fucking goblins. Little goblin creatures. Oh, man. Let's see what else is up. Because I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, God damn it. I mean, if my notifications are about my tire, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry so bad. Oh my God! He called me a nigger. I need to start a GoFundMe. I need to start a GoFundMe to address this. This guy right here, he called me a nigger. That's what he did. I am not, and that's offensive. Oh, man. Oh, the world is going crazy. Let's see. Petition calls for Confederate monument to be replaced with Missy Elliott statue. Oh, no. Out of everyone... seriously, out of everyone, why Missy Elliott? Where is this oh my gosh. Oh my God, it's on change.org. Oh my God. Well, change.org petitions don't really do anything, as Sargon of Akkad knows, so it's not really that big of a deal, honestly. Ah! Stand with Nathan. I ain't gonna stand with nobody. Hell no. Get that up out my face, boy. Please sign my petition, everyone. We can put racism down, flip it, and reverse it. Oh my God. The white guilt is strong in this one. Holy crap. And all these black women. This is excellent. Thikamaru. Oh my God. This is so fucked up. Oh my gosh. Holla. Fucking hell. Why are they... Out of everyone. Yeah, Harriet Tubman. They could have put anybody. Literally anyone. They could have put Harriet Tubman. Like they could put George Washington Carver. He did something great, right? Put anybody. They could even put Barack Obama. But they put Missy Elliott. They could put Oprah. They put Missy Elliott. This is awful. This is why, in all honesty, racism, go ask a black person. They might get offended. Go ask them what is more damaging to the black community today, racism or moral bankruptcy and poor judgment, which equates to poor judgment in my eyes. Moral bankruptcy or racism. Most of them are going to say racism. But they know it's moral bankruptcy. Especially the people who are going to say racism are like that fat chick who wants to make money off of white guilt to get paid. You put your damn PayPal next to white people are racist. Please pay me. Please pay me, white people. Y'all too racist. I would like that money, please.
So, I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with.
They could put Rosa Parks sitting down.
Of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist.
She put a A memorial of my Taya. They should put a memorial of my Taya, my poor Taya. They died, protected me. They died from Nazis. Oh, man. Let's see, I can't play no more videos on here because my buffering. I'm buffering. Let me pop out of here and move this way because y'all trying to send me some tweets and I don't appreciate that right now. Ugh. Take your cuck street. What is this? What? On a serious note, Nylaved, your cuck. This is Mike Cernovich, okay? Take your cuckstrianity to a mega church selling $5 lattes while. Now I have to click it. While a veneered tooth Botox addict flicks platitudes with you. Okay. What do I have to say? What do I have to say about that? That's how he feels. That's how he feels. I already know most alt-right people don't, or most people in that I know from my generation in general don't really like Christianity. So, it's a different perspective considering I've been in the thick of it my entire life. I've known that I've been hated my entire life by people. I've known that I've been called racist, sexist, misogynist since I was in 4th grade. I've been called this my entire life for merely just sticking up for the Republican Party, let alone conservatism. My entire fucking life. And that's not to like go, boo-hoo, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe, please pay for my feelings, please. No, I'm not on that at all. But it's a different, it builds character and it builds your argument to make it as strong as possible when you know that there's a lot of people out there who are trying to argue with you about things that honestly they don't even know what they're arguing about, which is why being a conservative in a liberal school is actually a plus to a certain extent, because you not only know what you believe, but you know what they believe, and you're able to counter it more easily. So, trying to see. Christianity was cool when they did Dios Volt and shit. You know, I've heard some atheists pull some Dios Volt, because I remember James and I were talking about what would you do if there was a Muslim putting a knife to your neck, and it was like you have to convert to Islam or else. And I remember, of course, I'm not going to do that. And James was not going to do that. But there was another guy who was going to do that. He's atheist, though, and he said, well, I would just lie to him, and then I would say, I would come back later on with a weapon, and then Dios Vault. I'm like, you didn't, what God? God wills it? What? God wills what? You willed, what? I just don't get it. I think it's just a meme that they want to play around with, but they really don't understand it, so I just leave them to their own devices. I would pretend. Yeah, a lot of people would pretend, but I can't pretend, so it's very simple. It's very simple. Can't pretend. They'll go to my YouTube channel and be like, but you're a Christian here. Yeah? You believe in... Do you believe in the creator that created all the things that need to be created in the creation? I'd just laugh at that point if it was that chick holding a knife to my neck. I couldn't help but laugh. Do you believe in the creator that created all the creation that ever was created? Do you believe in that? What? Just kill me. Just kill me, because if I can't have my freedom of speech, or if I can't have my well, they couldn't. Like, if I was in that position, I don't know if I even would be in that position because I'm gonna fucking defend myself. I'm not gonna take things on my knees. I'm not gonna take it sitting down. So, but it's kind of silly. The creator that ever was created. Yes, women aren't allowed to kill and see. Well, I'm gonna kill this coffee dough. It's already going down. As soon as I finish my coffee, I guess I should just... I mean, I sent him the link, right? I sent it. I'll just tweet at him and see. Because he didn't see it yet. I said yes. Oh my god. I'll just send him the link. I'll just send the link. This is... I said 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We send tweet to wait. Oh man. Chat is too... Is this ladies on topic? No. I'm not a lady. Not today. Nope. I identify as a goy. Okay? So I identify as today. So you better respect my goy privilege. Nani, the fuck? What am I gonna do with my life? Gonna kill myself and then... Okay, let's see. Barcelona. Oh yeah, this was cancer too. I don't know if I want to click that because the stream might die. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Can you be fired for being racist? Depends on if you're white. Very simple. Only white people can be racist. Did you know that? Well, she knows that. You know how she knows that? Let's listen to her. She's so brave and strong. Come on. Play it. Play it. No!
All right, people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what it is.
Let's hear it again.
It's fine.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what it is.
Oh my god. Oh, she's so disgusting. She's so disgusting, and it really has nothing to do... Well, with her being a Jew, technically it doesn't. She's just a virtue signaling, lying, doxing attention whore. That's it. She is an attention whore who lowers that you unsubbed. No, you gotta respect my channel. Oh man, it's alright. You can unsub, it's fine. It's fine. Yes, it doesn't. Oh my gosh. I mean, the theory is, and we can talk about the theory. The theory is that Jews have a different outlook. Well, as a culture, they do have a different outlook on everyone else. So there's standards for them, and then there's standards for different people who are not Jewish. It's very simple. So what's good for them is not necessarily good for anyone else who is a goy. That's technically true of their religion as well. from what I understand of it. So that's the theory. And in all honesty, I've seen many a rabbi who ask when they're giving advice, they say, is it for a goyim or is it for a Jew? There's differences between the two. If it's a goyim, it doesn't really concern them. To be in all honesty, it doesn't really necessarily concern them. But if it's a Jew, then they have rules and regulations that need to be adhered to because they are a people who are trying to protect themselves to the best of their abilities. So they have rules and regulations and guidelines in their culture. It's very simple. So that's kind of all it is. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. But to say, okay, there's a Jew, there's some nefarious afoot. I don't play that. I don't really know. I need evidence. Oh man. Yes, the Talmud, there's definitely a clear difference. And that's in Christianity, there is no difference. So a person who is not Christian, or advice you would give a Christian and a non-Christian is the same advice. It's the same thing. But a person a rabbi, you go to a rabbi, they'd ask you, are you Jewish or are you not? And if you're not, there's really, what advice is he going to give you? So, hey. Oh, man. I just don't know. I just don't know what to do, guys. I'm just sitting here with my coffee. I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at Twitter and it's hell. It's hell on earth. It's hell on earth. I have my puppies, though. I have my puppies. They shitting all over my house and they popped my tire. Look at them. Look at the face of the evil Nazi puppies. They popped my tire. Oh, man. Let's see. Look at the face of the terrorist. Oh. Should I just end it here? I mean, it's already 1:47 where I'm at. I feel like I'd be a dick if I ended it here. I contacted him, though. And nothing happened. Is it because I'm black? He didn't want to come on my show because I'm black. He didn't want to do that and shit. I was just sitting here looking at my Twitter and I done sent him a message and he was like, well, I'm gonna just be silent. Nigga, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I want to debate. I'll debate UNC. Lone, I already know you agree with me. I already know. It's okay, baby. It's okay. See, what had happened was, I wrote this article. Let me show y'all my article. Hold up. I finna show y'all. Let me pop that up. I'm gonna hold this down. I'ma hold you down. There we go. I wrote this article, see, and I was like, this black man done got hurt by a train sign, and this white man said, nigga, get your head back in there before you get hit by that sign. And the black man was like, hell no, cracker. And he turned his head, and then he lost it. He done lost it. And all y'all saying, oh, well, it ain't the white man's fault. White man said nigga. Like, who would say nigga? That ain't appropriate. The black man died. We need to have a march. Where this train up at? Where the train at? We need to do something about this. Somebody said that's a good accent. I used to speak like that for a very long time. I used to live in a neighborhood populated by the black community, as it were. And so I know Ebonics quite well. It's interesting. I can speak Spanish. Yo puedo hablar español también. So I know Spanish and the Ebonics and English. At least proper English. The English that you speak when you're when you're trying to get white people to give you money. Hello, white people. I need your money. Please, please, sir, give me your money. Clark was a wigger. No, I'm Puerto Rican. I is Puerto Rican. I am Puerto Rican, boy. Y'all chat need to stop. I ain't on that today. Hell no. The issue is if you don't speak Ebonics, you don't get any friends. You don't get any friends. So if I didn't speak in that manner, then yeah, I wouldn't have any friends. And I want friends, guys. I just want friends. Let's see. Oh, my Uncle Alex Jones. I love you, Uncle Alex Jones. Look at him right there. He's getting the trendies. Look at that goblin. Look at that goblin. He braved the coffee. I hate the fact that the article that I was reading on Infowars.com, you can go, they have a 1776 special. You can head over there. You can get Super Male Vitality, Brain Force, the Bone Broth. It's all great, guys. Go over there. They have a 1776 hat, and they have a 1776 shirt. I got my eye on. I gotta do some more voice acting for that. But, I want that damn shirt. He looks Jewish. God damn it. He got that goblin. Got that goblin look to him. Look at him. Running over there with his coffee. I was just walking around with my coffee, and I saw this man. He was shouting 1776 will commence again, and I ran over to him, and I said, you're trash. You're just trash. You're Nazi scum. You're trash. And I tossed my coffee. I just tossed it. Oh, gosh. I guess this is not gonna happen. Why is this not gonna happen? Why? As soon as I'm done with my coffee, I'm just going to end the show, delete the show, and I don't know. That iodine works though, for real. Cause I was looking at that the other 1776 specials. You just go to Infowars.com and click on their shop, and you just see who canceled. Oh well, we were supposed to have a debate and shit. We were supposed to have a debate, and I said, and I can show you. I'm gonna show you the messages. So I put the Hangout link. And I said I'm going to get coffee, and this is our discussion. So and I had to take my pups out. So yeah, you got to see that too. So we was debaters and shit. Ain't no debate up in here. My Ebonics is failing. I gotta watch more videos on BET. Gotta catch up with the crowd. Oh, let's see. Emperor Butterflies is such a nice fellow. Such a nice fellow. Oh, God. Oh, my God. So I'm waiting. And I know he's in Europe, so that could be a problem, too. But I chose an earlier time because he's in Europe. So yeah. Yeah, guys, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of stuck. I'm kind of lost. I'm so sad. We were supposed to debate and shit. We was. But then he didn't show up. And now I'm left here. What am I supposed to do now? I decided also, update for y'all who are watching. I don't know how many is watching. Hold up. About 38. That's amazing for me not really saying anything. Interesting. Yes, I have a BitChute channel. I have a theory that, YouTube doesn't want anyone on there. So I decided to take most of my videos so far, especially my older ones, I've posted on BitChute. Now, if you don't know about BitChute, and there's my channel if you want to check it out, if you want to join. I'll put newer stuff up there first, obviously. Yeah, I know, dog. You like BitChute too? Okay, get over here. Get over here. Okay. He's so heavy. Let's look at the FAQ. So this is, and I can read it right here. Throughout 2015 and 2016, several prominent YouTubers reported a loss of video monetization when covering certain topics. Goes out of there. And for having obviously particular opinions. We know what particular means. But anyway, YouTube claimed that this was due to tighter enforcement of existing rules. Even if true, this will restrict the type of content that gets made and is a form of censorship. But according to their blog, they didn't even list these out, so I don't believe them. Here we believe people should be able to express their opinions and choose their topics. If existing services cannot allow that, then let's make some that will. The question is how to disrupt a platform as well established as YouTube. It cannot be on their own terms. We think we might have the answer. Decentralization by torrents and tailored matchups for monetization. Rather than needing massive data centers with humongous bandwidth costs, torrents depend on many people sharing videos from their homepage computers. While this has been possible for many years, though, BitTorrent applications have steep learning curves. This site aims to make the torrent experience seamless by working entirely in the web browser, and they do that by WebTorrent. You can check out more about that there. Can I host a torrent on my site? Yep. They will eventually have tools and tutorials to assist and encourage this. Torrents take on a life of their own and can operate independently of any website that indexes them. Your website can be another index as we work towards a decentralized internet. So yeah, that sounds fun. Oh man, god damn it, my last video was demonetized. Fucking why it was just statistics. I have no idea. I just have absolutely no idea at all. So oh, okay. Hey, hello. Oh, this shit.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. So what? Hold on. Let me check what time this is in case I need to like cut this out. So it's 48:35. That's fine. All right. Thanks for coming on. I thought you forgot about it.
No. I just my sister's it's my sister's birthday, so I just came back.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
All right. No worries then. All right.
So is this a formal debate?
It's not.
Is
no.
Is there a moderator? Christy Winters?
No. I'm the most informal, unprofessional person probably on the internet. So
great, because I'm not a historian or a well, I'm a Eurofat socialist, so I don't get why you're even talking to me.
Okay, yeah. So you're what do they call them? A Eurofag?
Yeah, Eurofat socialist.
Oh my god! But don't forget, you're also racist.
Of course, all whites.
All whites are racist, obviously.
Yeah, I saw it.
So let's see. So how?
But no. Actually, that is not your proposition. Your proposition is that she is lying. Nobody's racist.
I wouldn't consider it. No. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Because how? Okay, let's start at the beginning. I can read my article just to get the allegory down and the preface down, because I think that was the biggest issue with this, and then we can go from there. So let me copy and paste this here. So let's start with this. A black man buys a railway ticket and enters a train. He finds a seat next to a window and sits down. Soon after, a white man buys a railway ticket, makes his way onto the train, and enters the same section as the black man, finds a spot a couple of seats behind the black man, and sits down. An hour goes by with neither man talking to the other. Then another hour. Upon the third hour of the trip, the train takes a hard, sharp curve, causing the train to shake. The black man, curious about what's causing the commotion, decides to look through the window, but it's nighttime and he can't really see anything. The train jostles again. Confused, the black man then decides to open the window, sticking his head out of the moving train to investigate. Meanwhile, the white man notices something near the upcoming tracks. The white man suddenly yells at the black man, saying, "Nigger, get your head back in here before you get hit by that sign." Upon hearing this, the black man becomes angry, turns his head to yell at the other passenger, and in less than a minute loses it, causing head crashing into a railway sign. The black man dies. Who is responsible for the death of the black man? So who do you think is responsible?
The black man.
Why?
Well, he's sticking his head out. By the way, I don't get how the white man can see the sign, but the black man doesn't. Are you implying that black people have worse vision than white people? Because I would say that's racist. But no, who's responsible? Well, who's doing the action? The black man, the black person, I would say. But I while I was reading, or while you was telling this story, because you already you also uploaded the video about it, telling the same story. I was like, okay, am I missing some symbolism here? Is there anything else that I'm missing? But I guess not. It's just a story.
No.
So
No. I'll explain where I got this from. There's a speech that Larry Elder did, and it's on a poem. Let me see if I can actually find that poem. I'll get the gist of it. I don't know if I put the link in the video of him talking about it.
I know the story about his childhood, and a woman talking about a story about how somebody went for a trip to a city and everything was fine and dandy, and then that person was black, of course, and they came across a white person, and that person said nigger or something, and
that person said nigger.
That ruined the vacation. And that ruined the vacation. Everything was just, society was, her personal life was in turmoil because somebody said nigger. And Larry Elder's mother, I think, told Larry when he recited that story back to his mother when he came home, that and she said as a response, I don't see why that one person can ruin your whole vacation. It's I'm sorry for the person's vacation getting ruined, but he shouldn't be ruined by just one person saying something. That's the story, right?
Yes, it's that's basically it. So that's where I kind of got this from, and I actually got this from, now that I'm looking back, Tommy Sotomayor made a joke about this kind of thing. I've added details specifically, but he made a joke, and honestly, in his life, the way he says things, people always complain it's very harsh, but they're not listening to the message of what he's saying. So they're just listening to the nigger. They're not listening to get your head back in there before you get hit by that sign. And the black community is failing because of it. That's my issue. So they're focused on racism, and they're not focused on the moral bankruptcy that's in their community.
Exactly.
That's my issue.
Yeah. I think we can agree on a lot, but I think your conclusion about racism as a concept is not real. I would say, well, my explanation was if race as a concept can exist and it's
Okay.
being used in science, um, so it can be a parameter to make divisions between certain demographics of human beings. And so if that can be a legitimate parameter, um, and tribalism is
Wait,
a
wait, wait.
concept.
Let me start back. Okay, let me start back. In my allegory, is the white man racist?
You cannot say that based on him just saying nigger, I would say.
Really?
Because the well, black people use it too, and
But a white person used it.
the reason why they use it, or what I understood is why they took that word on, was to disempower the word, to re-own the word. But that never helps when you simultaneously say to other demographics, you cannot use the word. Because if the word is off limits to other people, and that means that the word will still have its derogatory power. Back to the story.
I will say
Just-
this, though,
well-
it's in response of that, they did bury the, well, they, as in, there's different factions of the black community, but I'll say the Al Sharptons and Reverend Jesse Jacksons of the world, they did a mock burial for the N-word. They did. They did a mock burial where they buried the N-word and said, we're not going to say the N-word. The N-word is buried now. And I bet you, they still do it. So,
Of course, like Pepe is buried, Pepe the Frog.
obviously.
Yeah, it really helps. It's like tearing down statues. Statues are torn down. Racism is over. Yay! Obama is selected as a president. Racism is over. It doesn't really work that way.
Okay. Now I'll ask you, in the case of this man, again, is he racist?
I cannot answer that question just on one example. I think I need to know more of that person, because just one sentence is just not enough. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But just saying the word nigger, yeah, I wouldn't use the word.
But you just did.
In that example. Yeah, I did. But I'm talking about the word. This is the problem. I cannot say the word nigger.
No.
When you're talking about the word nigger, you have to say N-word. Well, how do you expect the word ever to not be offensive to people when you are so incredibly sensitive about it? And when white people or maybe non-blacks are just saying the word when they're talking about it, saying the word nigger, like I'm doing right now, if you are offended by that, I can understand when you are offended when the word is uttered to another person, towards a black person. Yeah, okay, that's different. But when you're talking about the concept of free speech and you're talking about the word in that context, I don't get it why people should be offended by that, but they do. And people like Al Sharpton are offended because, it's their bread and butter. They have to be offended. It works for them. They build a career on being offended by that. So of course they will.
So again, we can say here, I don't believe that this person in the allegory obviously is racist. I do not, because it's so hard to pinpoint down. I do not believe that person is racist. Reason. But as for racism itself, the issue I find is when people tell me X person is racist, I need evidence, and none of them provide accurate evidence to prove to me that racism exists. They tell me, oh, slavery is slavery in this country. But black people own in Africa, there's slavery.
Yeah.
With black people. Black people own black people. Asians own Asians. I mean, it's white people own white people. Slavs. Like, that's where the word slave comes from.
And more blacks were transported from Africa to South America than North America, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So
and and in that part of America, South America, the whole connection between slavery is not talked about in those regions. And what I understood from Thomas Sowell, his explanation as why the United States are talking about reparations, why slavery is still a very sensitive subject, and why slavery in America is really connected to racism. It's ironically enough because of the Constitution. Am I right?
Technically, yeah.
Let me explain just to be certain we're talking about the same thing. So when the Constitution was written down, every human being should be free, but slavery is people not being free. So how do you deal with that? Well, these people are the slaves that we hold are not really the people we talked about in the Constitution. So they're second rated. And so the Constitution does not apply to them. Or that was the kind of, explanation as how slavery should still exist in America, in the United States, I mean. So I guess at that point, slavery and racism became linked.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about you're talking about the view of certain demographics of human beings, of which you say those do not have the same standards as we do. So these are second rated. They are a level below us.
They're other persons. There is no black, white, anything in the Constitution. The Constitution is quite neutral on the concept of slavery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people are going to bring up the 3/5 clause. You're wrong. It literally says other persons. It doesn't even say slaves. It doesn't even say black. There's nothing in there that says anything like that. So the Constitution cannot be racist. The issue becomes all men are created equal. So if you're going to count a specific subset of the population as people or other persons and believe that you're representing them, you can't represent them because they don't have the ability to even be represented, a good portion of them. So how can you, it's a conflict, and you can see in the 3/5 compromise, it's a difficult thing to do. It was necessary at the time to prevent chaos from a brewing, but it is a very difficult thing to wrap your head around, that the South wanted them to be counted as persons, every single one of them, but did not want to give them adequate representation.
Yeah.
That's an issue. So the Constitution brings up issues like this. And they weren't considered American citizens. That's right, Lone. They weren't. So technically, it's a difficult thing.
So they were people on American soil, but they were not seen as American, and therefore the Constitution did not apply to them.
They were seen as other persons. They were seen as
Okay.
people. They were just other people.
Yeah, yeah, and your view on this 3/5 rule was that it was made up to kind of um, avoid chaos, because if you let all the slaves go,
No. It was
and give
literally
them
just.
full.
It was a compromise. It was a compromise between two parties, the North, mostly Northerners and Southerners, to come to an agreement about what to do about these people and how we're going to come up with the House of Representatives. How are we going to make it so that... Because it's based on... Okay, each state gets 2 senators, right? They get 2 senators. But the other representatives that they get... in the House are based on population. Not anymore, obviously, but they're based on population. So, at that time, if they were based on population, who is going to have more representatives? States that have the highest population of people. These states wanted to count slaves as people. So they came up with a compromise. It has nothing really to do with race. It has nothing to do with racism. It's just a compromise based on persons and trying to figure out to distribute the powers. But in a way, if you look back on it, that, to me personally, as a person looking back on history, it just shows that there was a conflict with even the founders on the idea of slavery. That's all it is. It's on the idea of slavery and
the rule
power.
was set up. The rule was set up by the North, I would presume, or not?
No,
because
it was both. It was a compromise. It was a compromise by both.
Okay. But the South, I would presume that the South was would have likened to have these persons to have a full representation, or
no,
not?
not representation. They wanted them to be counted as persons.
Oh, okay.
It had nothing to do about, and that's the messed up part about it, is if you want to count them as people, we have to represent them as people, and they're not considered technically citizens with the rights of representation. So, yeah, it's a difficult thing to do, so they wrote this up, and I mean, it has nothing to do with racism. It has everything to do with acquisition of power for the government in different states. That's it. It really... Let me get my dog. So, back on this, and I'm going to ask you this just right off the gate. Where do you see racism? Where can you find it in today's society?
With Michael Moore. With a lot of people on the left. And more on the left than on the right, but a lot when people are talking about racism and everyday racism, stuff like that, people are prejudiced, and they act on stereotypes, and I don't consider those things to be racism. Racism should be that you hold the belief that certain demographics are less than you, or less than other people. So I don't know how the alt-right views Asians, but they are talking about, there's a lot of talk about race and IQ. Okay, Asians probably have an higher IQ on average than white people. I don't know what their position on Asians are, but are they more than whites? Are blacks therefore less than whites? A lot of people on the alt-right are just saying that there are differences, and I don't find it. I don't have a problem with that. You know, if I would be more surprised if demographics, different demographics are looked at, and it came out to be that blacks, whites, Asians, whatever, all had the same average IQ. That would be astonishing, because that would mean, to me, that would mean that the game is rigged. Somebody rigged the system so everybody has about the same IQ level. But what the question is what you do with it. So blacks on average, maybe 90, 95, I don't know. White people, 100, Asians, 110. Okay, so now what? Because a lot of people on the alt-right are saying, we need to discuss this, race and IQ, it's important. We never will get our utopia if race and IQ is not discussed. Well, okay, I acknowledge it, that there's difference between demographics, and therefore there are difference in IQ. What you gonna do about it? Because I would say, if you want to educate people in an accurate way, you need people with a lower IQ probably need to have a different way of teaching them, a different method of education than people who are slightly above average in their IQ. And of course, people with a very high IQ need special education as well. And if the result of that approach means that you have schools with predominantly black people in them, I'm okay with it. That's a result. And if certain black people are like Larry Elder, like Thomas Sowell, are above average in their IQ, let them go to other schools where their IQ level fits the educational program that the school or the university has for them. I do believe that Larry Elder has talked about this, Thomas Sowell talked about this, how black people get special treatment, and it's actually not helping them, it's hurting them.
Of course it's not helping them.
They will get to a university that the IQ level needed for that university they do not have, but because of special treatment, they get a preferable position, a seat, and they will fail, or they will struggle, and a lot of them will probably fail. And that I think that result, those people failing, they still probably have an above average IQ level.
Would you say that in HBCU, which is a historical black college with a predominantly black population of students, is different than that of a school that would have a predominantly white group of students? Would you say that they're different? Then why do you think what Michael Moore said is wrong, when all he did was stereotype? Be it as crass and crude as he is and as hideous as he is, he's an evil person. I'm not going to deny that. But what Michael Moore said was that if, and this is a stupid joke, I think it was a joke, but whatever, if black people were on the plane at 9/11, things would have gone differently than white people all being on the plane at 9/11. Yeah. Now, do you think he just said that because black people have a different skin color? Or do you think he said that because he's looking at statistics and looking at a community in which violence is kind of the norm? That's my issue. My issue is, how can you say someone is racist when we take into the whole of a person, we take into the whole of a community, we take into the whole of statistics and facts? We're all dealing with the same facts. It's just, what do you think causes it? There's a statistic that let me think of it. It's black women on average, if they're between the ages of 36-ish to 50, close to 50, guess what their net worth is for black women in this age bracket?
Was it about $5?
It's $5. $5. So we see that statistic and we go, well, there's some priorities that are messed up here, because it has to be them spending money unwisely, right? For us. But for other people, like Huffington Post, they'll say, it's racism. It has to be racism. It has to be some wage gap. It has to be that. You see why racism to me means absolutely nothing in the with what we know historically and with what we know now.
Yeah, but back to Michael Moore. Michael Moore will probably say that if you talk to Michael Moore and you talk about the difference between genders and that men are stronger than women or braver or whatever, he probably would have an issue with it. So when it comes to race, your proposition is that when it comes to race, he actually is not looking at skin color. He's looking at black people are more aggressive on average than white people.
He's
less
taking
less
a stereotype.
alpha male.
He's taking a stereotype based on a statistic that we know that is being portrayed out there. So he's taking that. Is stereotyping racist? You said before that it wasn't, that there's a difference. So if there's a difference, why can't Michael Moore not be why is he racist all of a sudden? And is he actually racist? Is he tribal in any, like, where's his tribe? Like, what does he stand for? He's just a provocateur, and we know he's a provocateur. We know he makes money off the concept of racism, as most people around him do. Of course he would want this concept to flourish and people to believe this, to believe a lie, so he can make money off of them. It's very simple. He's just a really hateful person to anyone who disagrees with him. It could be Thomas Sowell, it could be me, it could be Sean Hannity. It could be anybody. And that's my issue. How do you determine it specifically that this one person was looking at race? Because that's the complaint I get from a lot of black people. It's like, oh, well, these white supremacists, they hate me because my skin color. And I'm like, they don't hate you because of your skin color. They hate you because you yell, fuck you, Nazi, at them. Like, it's an attitude problem. Again, if you ask a black person what is more harmful to the black community, is it racism or moral bankruptcy, they're going to call racism. They don't believe there's a problem. A lot of them don't. And why don't they believe there's a problem? Because too many people have decided that they wanted to believe in a lie. And the lie is racism. You bring it up to them, they're like, well, slavery existed. No, black people actually own slaves, black slaves in the South. There are black people that fought for the Confederacy. So, it technically wasn't, the Civil War wasn't really about slavery. But they keep believing the lie. And they keep accepting the lie. Now, why do you think that is?
Well, it's convenient. It's convenient because you in that case it's easier to adopt a victim role and to say it's not my fault. You know, the society, the situation I'm currently in is a consequence of what happened in the past. And so, things that is going on currently in my life is not based on the decisions I made, or my parents made for me, or the fact that I'm in a neighborhood where the culture is such that if you want to achieve something, you're working for the white man. And you're a traitor. You know, you have to. It's amazing that people will be motivated to do to go on food stamps because, you know, working in the system is it's you're working for the white man. You're a traitor. Better go on food stamps. It's amazing how they keep themselves down that way. but at the same time, it's convenient. And of course, when you are being told the stuff about slavery again and again and again in media, in entertainment, Black Entertainment Awards, Ebony Magazine, all of that stuff, it keeps you in it keeps you in a bubble. And the same goes in another way. The same goes here in the Netherlands. When we are talking about America, the American dream to Europeans is try to get rich, not to be free, not to have the freedom to make life as you see fit for yourself, but to get rich, to get famous, get rich. So most people will flock to Hollywood, try to get into the big league, because that's the American dream, right? And there's Republicans are only talked about, and all the types of Republicans just oh, these people just love guns, they love to shoot because they have tiny dicks, and so it's their guns it's a phallic symbol, whatever. It's all bullshit, and you will never see somebody like Larry Elder or Thomas Sowell, anybody like that on Dutch television. And
all right, so I'll ask you this. I'll ask you this: if a program does not put Larry Elder or Thomas Sowell on its program, a leftist program, let's say something like I know NPR already had them. TYT. They are talking about Larry Elder. Somebody says, "Hey, invite Larry Elder on." They say no. Are they racist?
No, because they don't like his views.
Exactly.
They will
about what he does isn't necessarily about.
It's about what he does. Yes.
Even if you talk to someone, and I'm going to be very honest with you, even if you talk to someone from the KKK about black people, they don't say, "I hate that man because of his skin." No, they bring up things like they are lazy, they steal from people, blah 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 blah. That's what they bring up. So are they racist? Is the KKK racist?
Connected to the skin color. The color of the skin embodies all of the negative traits that they see.
But if they see black people do this, are they racist? If they know the statistics, are they racist? If they bring up to you all of these stats of this small population of people committing a whole bunch of crime in the United States, are they racist?
No.
There you go.
No.
There you go.
But you see, tribalism, so conflict happening on other things. You see it in sports. We have soccer, football teams here in Europe, in South America, and they go head to head. Some of those teams that those sporting events will get really violent. Why? Because you have one team and another team. They sporting different colors, and especially nowadays with soccer being so professional and so much money going on, those teams do not sport any local players anymore. The most successful teams like Barcelona or Real Madrid or Manchester United, if you look at the teams, people are from Eastern Europe, they're from Africa, they are from South America, and they are there to because of their talent, and they are playing against a team that is the same. When I look at it, I'm not a big soccer fan, but if I from an outsider looking in, I just see two corporations go head to head. But if you are a fan of either one of those corporations, then things go bad. And does it really matter what that the difference between those teams, if you look at objectively, they have the same kind of goal, shooting a ball in the goal, but they have the same kind of financial. To be successful, you have the same kind of.
Wait. So you're saying
PR,
so if we were to make this together, racism is a business. So I don't believe in the business because I don't believe in their foundation. I don't believe racism exists.
No, but a lot of people are.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of people are. And they make a lot of money off of it, and it brings them a lot of heartache. Because let me ask you this. If racism does exist, how do you solve it? By giving Reverend Al Sharpton money? By giving a black person money? There's a GoFundMe right now for a black dude who went into the alt-right rally, the Unite the Right rally, with a baseball bat. And he went in there, he got beat over the head, he took a picture of himself bloodied, and he has over $80,000 on GoFundMe saying, white supremacists hit me on the head, they's racist, give me money. Come on now. If you didn't believe in racism, if you thought to yourself, well, what would, because if you strip racism off the table, we're focused on what did he do? Where did he go? Why was he there? What did he engage in? That's why the foundation of racism, even as an excuse or as an existence, to me, means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because every time someone brings up a situation to me, I ask them, what did you do? What did Trayvon Martin do? What did Mike Brown do? It has absolutely nothing to do with them as individuals. And when a KKK comes to me and says, well, I don't like black people and blah, 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 they don't ever tell me it's because of their skin color. They tell me why. They don't, and that's something like the allegory said. They may call you nigger. Don't focus on the nigger part. Focus on what they're actually saying and why they're in the position that they put themselves in that category. Because this didn't just come out of nowhere. It really didn't. So that's my issue. My issue is that the things that we believe are racism, technically, either couldn't be, or there's a high potential that they really aren't. Had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. And the only reason people want to foment this idea is either they're making money off of it or they're controlling people off of it. We have college students. There was a college student, it was a girl. She was walking around a campus. She saw a projector through a window of the building. Yeah. And it had a hood over it. It had a hood over it. And she literally thought the KKK was speaking at her college. She literally thought this. And she called it, she took a picture of it. It's like, the KKK are at my college. Oh my God, racism is real. Blah, blah, blah. She's, oh no, the racists are here. They're coming for me. It brings up paranoia. You know how many times I've gone to a restaurant and with a bunch of black women, I've gone to a restaurant and the first thing they want to do is use white guilt to get something free out of the white people who own the establishment. Been many a times this happens. They take advantage of the idea of racism to make white people guilty, to get money out of white people, to make people feel sorry for them. And I'm not going to feel sorry for them anymore. I don't believe racism exists. I don't. I think it's a silly notion. There's just, I mean, I know I might be the only one.
Yeah, the concept of racism in how they explain it, that's it's a mirage. It's not really there.
Well, somebody asked. I'm sorry. Somebody asked a question in the chat. I think you might have this question as well. They asked, "What about making an assumption to say about a person just because of the color of their skin?" Again, when we look at people, even Richard Spencer. I don't like the guy. I think he's an idiot. But even Richard Spencer, when he looks at people, he's not just looking at the whiteness or the blackness. He's looking at their hair color, their eye color, their weight, their height, their voice, their smell, their possibly skin color. Who knows? He's looking at the way they speak to him, what they're saying, how they say it.
So he does look at skin color. But okay, it's
not just about that. That's my point. Racism specifically says that it's just about that. That's all racism is. It's specifically about the color of someone's skin and you feeling superior to them because of that. But that's not why Richard Spencer feels superior to you, because in all honesty, he doesn't like a bunch of white people either. He doesn't want them in his utopia at all.
That will be the next step, because the first step is we have a certain group, and that's fine. But I would say to Richard Spencer, you know, if he wants to build some white utopia, go ahead. You know,
he can't.
If you look,
dude, he can't. He has a Russian wife. She's not Anglo-Saxon. He has children with her. He's a liar, and he's making money off of the idea of identity.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the concept.
No, just the concept. But in practice, he can't do it. He can't do it.
Okay, but because you have, I don't know if you heard of the Free State Project, but a couple of libertarians, they said, you know, we all have basically the same idea about government. We want to minimize it.
Yeah.
But the problem is we are all scattered throughout the country. Well, let's have a plan to gather around, choose a state, and move to that state. And they chose New Hampshire, as New Hampshire is already pretty libertarian. And so they all went, a couple of people, and every year there's more people going throughout the United States. They're moving to New Hampshire to build up a community there, in order to have some political power and make New Hampshire even more libertarian. So it's a conscious effort to build a community. I would say, if you really want to have a white community, if you really think that you know, the whites, your white race is superior, and you want to build a community around that, I would say go ahead. You know, if it might work, it might not, but then you know. And so yeah, make it practical, I would say. But a lot of people will probably not be very welcome to that community, I would think. So I don't think if it would work, but that's the best way for some people on the alt-right to continue. Build that community that you want, that you crave.
Well, it wouldn't work if it was socialist. So.
Yeah, that's
Spencer's deal. I mean, that's his bag. That's the hill he wants to die on. That's the hill he's gonna die on. I don't really care about that. What I mostly am focused on is the idea of racism and where can I find it. That's it. And if I can find it, how do you solve it?
Yeah,
because that's the issue.
Because when people are talking, when people express their hatred or animosity towards another group, is mostly based on experience that they have or the family had of what they see in media, and its behavior, and it's a certain type of culture they see, and they eventually will connect that with a certain image, and then you arrive at skin color because it's part of the image. So
that's all it is. If that's all it is, then does racism exist? No. Well, I would say no.
For convenience sake, they will take that. they will take the skin color and said, okay, that will that is the most easy part to identify some culture that I don't like.
If all of these people are identifying themselves, because when you take these surveys and stuff of, let's see, nearly 3 in 4 black people, or as they call themselves, African American children, are born illegitimately. If you say I am a black person, like that's you, and you're fitting into that category. If they can realize, if they have this statistic, is what I'm saying, if they have this statistic and they're talking to someone in the black community, why would it be so bad if in the back of their mind they're thinking, I think this person never grew up with a father. I think this person might have, this is a high likelihood of this person being born illegitimately. If I'm talking to an older person, let's say about 70-ish, and I'm talking to them, and I reference something like their parents dying or something like that, because you understand, your parents aren't around, it's very hard for us, and that person goes, well, excuse me, my parents, they're still around. She's like 120, and that still doesn't prove me wrong when I make the assumption that your parents probably have died. Is that ageism? No. If I bring up a stat about the black community, is that racism?
It's an assumption.
No.
It's an assumption, and that is mostly what people are referring to. That is no. It's people having assumptions. People have stereotypes. Those stereotypes are there for a reason.
Yep.
They didn't exist out of whole cloth. They came from somewhere, and it's also very peculiar when people like when black people profess that they are conservative, that they are not black anymore. So the black community is not. It's not about being black.
Of course, it's not. It's about fitting
culture.
In there. Yes.
It's very specific culture.
Yes.
And if you say I don't agree with the culture, there are elements in that culture that I, ideologically speaking, do not feel comfortable about. You're no longer black. You're not part of the black community.
So you see what I'm saying? If we know what they mean, if we know what they actually mean, why do I have to go along with the lie? Why do I have to keep going around and playing this game of Democrats are racist, no, Republicans are racist, no, conservatives are racist, no, alt-right is racist? I don't even want to play the game anymore. I just say racism doesn't exist. I'm not going to deal with it. And we're going to talk about what people are doing, what communities are doing, what they are promoting, and how to fix that. Because I can deal with that. I can't deal with, oh, this group is racist. Oh, well, how do you solve it? It's in somebody's head. How do I stop a person from being racist? How? There is no solution other than you go to my PayPal right now and you give me like $50 and then racism won't exist, guys. Go ahead and do that. It's fantastic. Just go to my PayPal and give me all the shekels.
And to see that room full of white people just taking it in, just and not commenting on it. Could you see the reverse going on in that video, with a white person saying, you know, you black folks in the audience, you need to pay me reparations or something, and the whole crowd just yeah, seems about right. It's just amazing. But I would say that the people in that audience they are all Democratic. They're liberals.
A bunch of women too. Oh, and also, if I make a generalization about women now, in the same vein of
sexist,
I'd be called worse, misogynist. I don't believe misogynist exists either. That's too strong. Who hates women to such an extent? Like, the only people that I could conceive of doing that I would know that are misogynists would be men who specifically target women and they're killing them or something. Like, I don't see misogynists. I don't even believe they exist because to the extent of what feminists are telling me. They say a large percentage, more than half the population of men have some internalized misogyny. What the fuck does that mean? I have no idea. So again, they want you to play a game so they can make money and get more people to promote their bullshit. And I'm not going to even play the game anymore because it's stupid. It's idiotic. If a man says, I hate women, no woman goes, well, what do you mean you hate women? They go, oh my God, he's a misogynist. Oh my God, he's a misogynist. They never ask, well, I hate women because blah, blah, blah. Some general statistic bring up about women. Now that's misogyny. The whole thing is just ridiculous to me. And I refuse to go along with it. Oh, somebody said serial killers do exist. Yeah, like Elliot, what's his face? What's that dude that they said was trying to watch pickup artists and ended up Elliot? Is it Elliot Rodger? Is it Elliot Rodger? I believe it's Elliot Rodger.
Yeah.
They said he was a misogynist, and he killed men too.
Yeah.
That was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Elliot Rodgers. He killed men more than women, and yet he's still a misogynist. To me, that's fucked up. That we live in a society that's perpetuating a lie and allows people, and people on the right too, they keep perpetuating a lie. I'm not even going to play a game with them on that.
But
just can't.
Are feminists misandrist?
There has to be something. I ignore that. And then there has to be some. No, seriously, I don't believe that technically. No.
Technically, okay.
They're focused on what men have done. If they're focused on what they believe men have done, and they have statistics to back it up, and they have
But they don't have the statistics to back it up. They made up statistics to back it up, and they knowingly make up those statistics.
If they
I've
are
seen it.
still,
and by the way, they do
done.
They do it on the statues as well, because
they do.
On Wikipedia, the list of Confederate monuments in the premise of that list, in the premise of that article, it should be only a list of Confederate monuments, and it should be a very objective article. And in the premise of that article, immediately there was a link to slavery and blah, blah. This is bullshit. So I looked at the reference that was made in the article. I go down, and what do I see? I gave you that tweet. And it was articles written just 2 days prior. It was August 15th. And it was articles about, it was the Southern Poverty Law Center, and it was an article of Jezebel. And so I removed those references and said, because there's a lot of turmoil now at this moment about those monuments, just let the article on Wikipedia be objective, just neutral in tone. Within seconds, that change was made mute. It was revised again by Miss Vane, feminist, who has written feminist articles in Wikipedia. These people are the termites that Christopher Hitchens is talking about when he said the termites have died. These are the termites. These are people who are willingly are revising history, and people go to Wikipedia. They expect the information to be somewhat objective, somewhat accurate. I'm talking about the average person who goes on the internet and wants to know about stuff. They will go to Wikipedia and they will read, oh, I guess it's all connected to slavery. These people are willingly doing this. they are, and the media is willingly doing this. Entertainment is, there are a lot of people in the entertainment now who are really pushing their agenda in revising history and devising the population, and see where, look at where we are and not only America, the same shit is going on here in the Netherlands, because there was an Antifa rally because of in Amsterdam, because of what happened in Charlottesville. And so the same stuff that's going on there, it will arrive here in just, well, I think it probably will be a matter of months or weeks. These people want to have conflicts between, and if you say it's all artificial, okay, but they are still setting up a tribalistic war, a tribal war between men, women, black, white, and they know that they are doing this. How could they not know? Look at the media.
I'm not saying they don't know. I'm saying it's based upon the false premise that racism exists. That's my issue. Because when you ask one of them, where was
people
racism?
Act on it. You can say it's a false premise.
That's
people
all I said in the article,
acting,
though. Yeah. I mean,
are
there's
still
atheists in the chat right now. People believe in God. People don't believe in God. They still act on it. That's not my issue. Is, for me personally, I wrote in that article, racism does not exist. Point blank. That's it. I can't find it. Every time I go to them and ask them openly, hey, where is racism? They go, well, it was here. And I'm like, well, what if they were actually taking this into consideration, and
so
that? It doesn't.
It's actually always about other aspects. And they call it racism, and it's always something else, or it's always broader than that. It's always other things that they act upon. That's what you're saying.
And because this lie of racism keeps getting brought up, we're at the point in which it has changed its definition to just mean white people. White people are racist.
Yeah.
Racist to white people should be like, is as offensive to white people as calling a black man a nigger. In today's age, it might as well be. Might as well be.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm saying racism isn't real. People promoting racism being real are focused on something that they ought not be focused on. Period. That's it. Because if you can get past it, like in my allegory, if you can get past it, you can get to the truth. But if you stay in that mindset, you can die. You'll literally kill yourself. You'll go into a situation blind and kill yourself. And it wasn't the white man's fault, because technically speaking, if you're pro-black, you believe white people don't like you anyway. So if you believe white people don't like you anyway, why would you want them to help you? Why would you want them to care about you? Why would you want them to do anything for you? Doesn't make any sense. Unless you're fomenting a lie.
Well, that conflict is now, if you take that video with that woman making her presentation, just saying, all white people, all of them are racist. Point blank. That is a fact. How could you sit there in the audience, being white, still thinking to yourself, there's probably some way to get around this. There's probably some way that I cannot be a racist. Or are they now do they have eternal sin as a racist? Is something that they never get rid of.
Well, there's no such thing. If there's no such thing.
Yeah, but in their minds, it is very, very real, and they cannot get rid of it. How do you deal with that as a Democrat, as a white liberal? How you gonna deal with the current situation? kill yourself?
I think they actually want. I literally think they want people to destroy themselves. I mean, why else would you say a lie to someone to that degree? Why would you tell them that? Why would you? It's. They want them to have guilt so they can abuse them. That's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say on this topic, because I know you're not going to get past racism being an actual thing. A lot of people can't, and I understand why they can't. Because the media and a whole bunch of history and all this stuff and experiences, they go alongside. It's way more impactful than I ever will be. But I understand, at least for me and my perspective in coming through this, is I'm Christian. And there's a line in Ephesians 6:12. Let me see if I can bring that up, because it's so beautiful. So beautiful. It's such a beautiful line. It says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the powers, against the world rulers of this darkness, against spiritual forces of evil in the heavens." Basically, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in high places. So technically, from my philosophy, there is no such thing as racism. What we're actually dealing with is evil. We're not dealing with racism. We're dealing with evil and hatred. Because to hate is to be evil. To a Christian. I mean, it's... Because to hate, at least from a lot of the definitions that Christians use, people focus on, to hate means to imply that if that person were to disappear and or be destroyed, I would not give a shit. Effectively. You wouldn't care if they were to be killed, destroyed, or just disappear.
Okay.
And I can't do that. So when somebody comes up to me and says...
Not even with Antifa at the moment? Well, okay. You probably say no, but it's really hard. Well, they are acting on behalf of their ideology. And it doesn't matter if the person is black or white or
it wouldn't have
male
mattered,
or
would it?
female.
It wouldn't have mattered. And now you see why I'm saying this is because we're fighting against people who have accepted a lie. If they're accepting a lie and fomenting the lie, that's evil. That is evil in high places. George Soros. That is evil. It's evil. And we need to call it out. We need to say, this is evil. This is. I'm not going to say it's racist, but I will say it's evil and it's hatred. Because if I play the game of racism, where does that lead me? It leads me to hatred. It does, because now I have to go around going, I hate racism. But then I can't find it. So now I'm lost, and they want me to be lost, and I'm not going to play that game anymore. It's as simple as that. I can't do it. So that's my mindset when it comes to this thing. Alex Jones has said something similar to it, but he brings up conspiracies. Jesse Lee Peterson says racism doesn't exist either. Jesse Lee Peterson quotes this. He's a pastor, so he knows this. And if you're Christian, this is it. This is God literally telling you racism doesn't exist. We're not fighting against it. We're fighting against evil. And evil being that it is chaos and or a lie. I consider a lie evil. To blatantly lie and manipulate people and falsehoods, that's evil to me. And I'm not gonna do it. Can't do it. Gotta clean my room. Can't do it.
I still have to clean my room, by the way.
Because we're dealing with character. I'm not dealing when I'm with anyone. It's just character is the issue. So you can see why I'm upset with, in particular, the black community, because a lot of the black community says they're Christian, and they cannot be. You cannot be if you're fighting against someone not based on their evilness or evil character. We're going to the character of the person. We're not going to the race of the person. Now, do I think they're actually fighting against the race of the person when they're talking about, oh, the white man, blah, blah, blah? No, they're actually focused on what they think white people do, which is shoot someone because BET told them, oh, Mike Brown, he was actually innocent. He didn't do it. I mean, like, they're focused on what they think white people do. And to me, that's just not racist. Same with the KKK. They're focused on what they think
Stereotypes,
black people
again.
do. A stereotype to me isn't racist. Racism.
No. That's not what I applied. But there you go again. It's indeed and that's what I see with a lot of things that people call racism. It's just people having a certain projection of other people based on either something that they experienced themselves in the past a couple of times. Because an ex-girlfriend of mine, her father worked in Rotterdam, and he went into Moroccan neighborhoods, a lot of minorities, and he saw he worked. He's an electrician, and so his task was to make repairs in certain social buildings, the projects, let's say, and there were certain streets he had to go again and again because people were just destroying property again and again, and he got sick and tired of it. And when I don't know if you know the name Pim Fortuyn, but when he came up in 2000, 2001, and said, there's a big problem with minority groups in the Netherlands, we need to address it. He was like, yes, because I see this every day. These people are they have a problem, like the black community. They have a problem. It's their attitude. It's partly their culture, their attitude, and it's constantly a problem, and it's not being addressed in society. By other politicians, they never address it. It needs to be addressed. And he was demonized. And in 2002, I don't know if you know about this, but in 2002, he was murdered by a leftist prior to the 2002 election. And he was probably gonna, his political party was probably gonna be second, maybe even the biggest political party at that moment, and he was murdered by a leftist, and people were very, very upset. And we got Geert Wilders, who was basically of the same club, but not entirely the same, I would say, but he continued where Pim Fortuyn stopped, but it's still not being addressed. He got murdered, and they were like, okay, we can just continue as we always do. They have some words, like now with Barcelona, they will have some kind of political, they will have a memorial, they will have some kind words. It will mean nothing. There will be no action, and they will put it away, and the problem stays. It never gets addressed. And the same goes with the black community in America. Same kind of problem, and I don't know how to. Well, I guess now with the internet, with social media. I don't know if you. I feel like there are now more black people looking at the other side, looking at conservatives, because they have to, because although they are confronted with counter arguments, and they either block these people, and you have to block a lot of people, or you need to look into it and examine it. People are getting confronted with their bigotry and their lies. So I don't know if you see any. Well, there's a lot of awfulness now going on, but do you also see some positive development going on? with just individuals. I mean,
the most positive thing I think I've seen people do is actually say the truth about what's going on. I mean, we just had, what's his face? I need to find him again on Twitter. We had a black male celebrity. Can't find him right now. Hold up. Yeah, he was talking about racism and how he just doesn't focus. There's more black people in the community that are kind of losing that fog of racism and just going, I want to be successful. How can I be successful?
Yeah.
And the way to not fail, the way to not lose your head, is to either ignore it, don't accept the lie, move forward. If somebody's actually giving you advice, focus on the advice, not necessarily the delivery of that advice. I know that's a big thing with the Soto Nation, the community that follows Tommy Sotomayor. There's a big issue with that. And he gives very good advice. He just packages it in a manner that people don't like. But it's still the truth. So the truth is the truth no matter how he says it. In which way he says it. He still said the truth. As did this white man in my allegory. He still said the truth. I don't care how he packaged it. For people to get so emotional over that is the problem.
Yeah.
It's leading people to disastrous conclusions of, that guy's racist. He has to be racist. Over there is racism. There's internalized racism. He wouldn't talk to the guy on the train for like 2 hours. That's racist. He wouldn't sit next to him. That's racist. He's white, so he has internalized racism. It's this big, long list of things that are not evidence. You can't say that anymore. You can't
and you cannot escape it. It's like it's suffocating. It like those people in those white women in that room. At a certain point, you have to consider, where do I go now? Because there's, if all I am is racist, that if that is the predominant aspect of my personality, and that is the accepted truth, now with liberals, where do I go? How do I get rid of it? What are the steps that I can take? And there are no steps.
There are some steps. You pay them. You can go to these venues. No, I'm serious. They give them steps. You pay them. She put her PayPal right under that. She said all white people are racist.
So it's just a scam.
And then she put, yes, I believe it. I believe most of the, if not all. I'm gonna put all. I'm not gonna pull this not all shit. All of these racists. He's a racist. The right's a racist. The left's a racist. To me, is attention getting, is a scam. They're trying to get money from you. That's what it is. That's what they're trying to do. So she put her PayPal literally under, saying,
I saw
all white people are racist.
It's amazing.
Why would she do that? If she cared, if she really wanted to tell white people, hey, you affect us, you have power over us. So can you just pay? Can you put money in my PayPal? Can you put money in my account? Like, I don't take this shit seriously. I really don't.
It's becoming
now. As for the solution for me is through my philosophy. My philosophy is to tell the truth. The truth shall set you free. It's to let people know the truth, that to me personally, racism doesn't exist, and that to me, and give my explanation for it, of why I don't believe it exists, and to explain what I think is actually the problem. That's how hey, that's a solution. It's a solution. People listen to me, people don't listen to me, but at least I'm putting something out there into the ether that addresses this issue in a different way, in a super special way that people won't like. It's fantastic. It's great. So I hope you answered. I answered some of your questions on this matter. I don't know if chat has any questions. We can go to questions with the chat. The chat is cancer.
Oh, they always are.
They always are Cancer. That's right. Oh,
Normally, I'm part of the Cancer. Now, not. I
And,
don't have chat open. I don't see chat.
You don't want to see chat. Chat
Yeah.
doesn't.
The chat probably doesn't like me. They never do. They never like anybody.
They're saying we are not Cancer. Yes, you are.
Oh.
Yes, you are, chat. Accept it.
Cancer doesn't exist. Hashtag.
Oh, it exists, unfortunately. Somebody in the chat says, I like you, but you're still a faggot.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Cancer phobia, blah, blah, blah. Great indoors raped me.
Oh. Okay.
I'm actually surprised at how much you two agree upon. See, the issue was, and I understand what you're talking about with Michael Moore, but to me, it's just a stereotype based upon, and honestly, it sounded like a silly joke.
Yeah,
It
but
really did.
Michael Moore believes in the concept of racism. He believes in the concept of sexism, and then he used that the same, because of profit.
There you go.
Because, but if you believe in it, I'm just amazed that people who believe in racism just start saying stuff like he does about if there were more black people on board, then.
But that's a stereotype.
That's
a stereotype. That's not racism. We already concluded that it wasn't. So,
and I was also thinking about that. There was a Black Lives Matters rally that, well, they always turn violent. But there was a video where some woman yelled, "There's a white person. Let's take the white person out." It's pure skin color at that point. You don't know anything about that person.
We're not talking about that person. We're talking about the general category to which that person fits. If they believe the general category to which that person fits, see, that's the difference I'm making. So if I'm having a conversation with a black person, and I know a bunch of black men, and I know that from the ages of 15 to about 30, the number one cause of death is homicide, and I see that, I'm going to address it. I might address it, and if I believe these people, especially, their lives are going to be in danger. If I believe that statistically speaking, there's more white people than black people in society, that these white people control the media and this, all that, that, and the other, and I have those statistics, and I see this one lone white person wearing a MAGA hat, I don't like them already.
I don't know if that person in that. I do believe that the person did not wear anything that made him or her connected to Trump, but I would, probably they would think at that point, every white person is probably a Trump supporter, or if they say they're not, they probably still are, but they're lying to you.
I mean, look at what feminists said. They got upset at a lot of women, white women who go to college. Why? Because they found out the statistic that white women a lot of them voted for Donald Trump, and they're mad at white women. Are they now misogynist and racist? No, I wouldn't say so. They're mad at what they believe or what they know. Most of them white college females did. That's what they're mad at, and we have to address that. I don't want to address them being X and having that hatred for X. I want to know why they actually do. I don't necessarily care about the racism of it. I don't.
Yeah, and basically in that example, they stepped off the liberal plantation, and they really thought that they had pretty much all white women on that within their ideology, and they had them fixed. And then the election came. And it turned out, with the statistics, that this was not the case, and they were shocked. There were a lot of women, not being on the liberal plantation anymore. Holy shit!
So let me see. Let me check the Discord right quick in case they have any questions. The boys up in the Discord. Yeah, I don't think they're talking about it really.
Oh.
If you got questions, post them in general pleasantries. If not, why are they posting wieners? They're posting very sharp dreidels. They're posting wieners. Stop posting the wieners. A very sharp wiener busted my tire. A very sharp wiener.
Oh God, Laura Loomer.
She's disgusting.
God,
she's a horrible individual. She's a horrible individual. That's what she is. Soon it's gonna be her and Ezra. There.
You mean the rebel?
Yeah, and the rebel. It's gonna fail. Let me see. A question came in. I missed the beginning. Who is this guy and what is going on?
I'm nobody.
Yeah, he's nobody. Calm down. We were talking about racism, and he made a critique that
with
it
a white
does
guy.
exist, that it does exist, because Michael Moore is racist, and I sadly had to say that Michael Moore is not racist. He's just working
A vile
on
person.
stereotype. He's just a vile,
Who
disgusting, hideous
uses the
person.
concept of racism
To get money.
To get money.
To make money off of people. That's all he does. Him, and I honestly believe Richard Spencer does the same damn thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's serious about any of it.
So Michael Moore and Richard Spencer are basically the same type of person.
And Al Sharpton, same type of person. Make money off of people.
Yeah.
Yep. We have someone typing, but I don't see what they're actually going to say. I think it's a big-ass paragraph. I'm not going to read no big-ass paragraph. Oh, gosh. Got a lot of dreidels and wieners. Okay. I'll wait, because I'm nice. I don't know if I'm going to leave this up or just leave it unlisted. I don't know, because I usually don't do shit like this on my channel, but I thought this was interesting. Thought this would be interesting.
Well, it is. It's a hot topic.
Ugh.
There's no escape now. We're
Let's see.
all going downhill.
So if I follow your logic, you think racism doesn't exist as a concept because it can be broken down into more nuanced components. Is that correct? Not only that, that is technically correct. I believe that people, when they see another person, they're viewing many more things than merely skin color or racial characteristics, unless they're investigating a dead body, to which they actually have to look at skin color and make some kind of determination. Like, if they find bones, they can actually determine which race it's from. So, and if it was a male or female and all this stuff, I guess they're racist too. But that's technically, what I'm talking about. Nuance. I hate that word, but yeah, that's kind of what it is. Let's see. Any more questions? Let me check the chat. Are we going to have an after show, NC? No, I'm busy. I'm busy, guys. I have a video I have to make. Don't you guys want a video?
What is it about, by the way, or is it a surprise?
Ebonics. No, it's not a surprise.
Ah.
It's on this woman talking about how Ebonics is an important part of African American culture, and that it should be considered valid as a dialect, which it already is a dialect, but I don't know if it could be, because she's saying, well, people judge you a certain way for speaking in Ebonics, and I'm like, yes, they do. Yes, and you can't stop that. She's like, we gotta stop it, and I'm like, what? No, that's not gonna happen, sweetheart. That's not gonna happen.
You can start your Ebonics community, you know.
They already did. They believe black people specifically know Ebonics, and that Ebonics is something that doesn't change from region. So they consider a black person in California speaks the same Ebonics as a black person from Chicago. Technically, they don't. There's different words that they use, but it's still the same dialect, and they can talk to each other. And white people can't understand them. So if white people can't understand them, then all of a sudden, it becomes like this new dialect, or it's not a language, but, you know, like a new way of speaking. And they consider that valid. And I'm sitting back and going, but it isn't appropriate. I know in my life, I know I said this earlier while you were gone. The reason why I know Ebonics is not because I actually wanted to. Technically, it's not. It's because I had to in order to get along with other people. In order to have friends. You have to speak Ebonics. You have to. There's no other... Like, if you speak white, as they call it, they look at you differently. But they're not talking about the skin color per se. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're talking about how standardized English Americans speak, especially in the central, in the central, because technically a lot of different white people have different accents and different dialects all over the place. So why do they want, what do they call it? It's some fancy fucking name. Hold on. African American Vernacular English to be something that is treated valid to American society.
Isn't that term
African American is a stupid term.
The term that they use for Ebonics. African American
vernacular English. That's
that
what they call
sounds
it.
very white.
No, it sounds very intellectual. Because it was intellectuals from the 60s and 70s who came up with it.
So they have Ebonics for everything, and it should be an official language, but they use a scientific sounding name, not in Ebonics, because it sounds smart.
There's different ways. Oh yeah, intellectuals go to an African American studies class. They're awful. I'm sorry. They try to speak and they try to make things bigger than what they are. They're not. George Washington Carver isn't like the biggest thing out there. I remember just hearing him and hearing what he did, and I'm like, really? Is this the guy we're celebrating today for Black History Month? Yes, we are. He made a lot of things with peanuts. I'm like, oh God. White man invented the internet, and we talking about some peanuts and shampoo he made for...
Give it
it's
time.
Awful. There are very interesting black people, such as Thomas Sowell, who I consider a philosopher, a very exceptional black philosopher and economist, but he's not going to be featured on Black History Month. And historian. He will never be featured on Black History Month. He won't. And it's not because they're racist. It's all because they have a narrative, and they want to keep that narrative, and that's
it's the black community, the black plantation, the liberal plantation. You stepped out of it, you're gone. We don't consider you anymore.
So so I'm going to be talking about Ebonics. African American Vernacular English. Oh,
yeah. Are there lessons for speaking Ebonics at Berkeley or something? Are there white women there? I bet they do.
There are lessons to speak it online. There are lessons to not speak it online. There are lessons to read it, write it, to understand it. There are lessons to not understand it. So you have inner city kids who are raised, to not understand it. No, my bad. It was I misspoke. So it's to break away from it or to understand standardized English.
To break away from it
because the issue, because that's how I see it.
People want to be white. They want to.
You can't get a job. You can't get a job going in and saying, "Hey, yo, I need this job. What you got for me, fam? Is it job fire? Is it job fire? What you mean? My name is like it's the reason why I think they tried to separate themselves. And I'll talk about it in the video. I'm gonna have to delete this video because it might be Might be too
Too
much
long.
for too long. But the reason why I think this happens, and I think they tried to make it into its own special dialect, is because they want to separate themselves from mainstream culture, which they identify as white. So in order to do that, you need a different
Apartheid.
language. In order to
Apartheid.
well, they're gonna try to take Florida. I saw what they tried to do. I see the pro-black stuff a lot, and they just want like the South. That's all they want. They want the South, and they want like, it's so retarded. They're never gonna get it. It's so stupid. But it's
not
to
sure
make
anymore.
them. It's to make them different. So when you hear a name like LaDacia,
Yeah.
their mother, whether she knows it or not, technically, is perpetuating the idea that this culture is trying to break off of the conventions of what they deem as white culture. So she doesn't want her child to fit in with mainstream white culture with a name like Susan. She wants La Susan. She wants Susan Sushia. Like, what? Sounds like sushi. Sushia. It's like they want these names so their children can fit in with their culture.
Did your mother also had a political agenda?
My
in mind?
mother,
She named you.
This is some interesting shit. My mother was surrounded by black culture. She was surrounded by black women. And she has now, like, because they accepted her, because she's Puerto Rican. She's straight off the boat, went to Chicago, became a forensic scientist. So she analyzed the weights of drugs and all that kind of stuff. But when she was there in Chicago doing this job, she was surrounded by black people. And they accepted her because, obviously, people of color got to stick together. We're black and brown, yeah. So she was, I think, influenced by a lot of the things that they say, a lot of the things that they do. And I guess she fit in quite well to the extent that when she told me why she picked my name, she was like, well, it's unique. It's unique. It makes you different. And I'm like, she ruined my life. She literally ruined my life. My name sounds like cheap NyQuil. It sounds like off-brand NyQuil. Thanks, Mom.
You are part of the plan to bring America down. You are
much.
part of the...
That's Uniqua. We got some good names in the chat. Uniqua.
How do you spell it? Learny Bonnets.
It's
Learny Bonnets too.
You're gonna have to learn. Oh man. Is that why your stream puts me to sleep? Yes, that is exactly why. And I'll delete it, baby. It'll be soon. I'll delete it. You'll never have to hear from it again. You'll never ever have to.
But I came across something, I guess it was on Twitter, that now they want lighter skinned people to not be a part of the black community or something. Something like that.
There's colorism. That's what they call it. It's colorism. It's the issue that the black community has with lighter blacks versus darker blacks.
Yeah, but doesn't that go against what you...
No, because they're seeing
we are
what
all
they're seeing.
minorities.
No,
we are all minorities, and we got to
yeah,
stick
it does.
together.
It does. It does because a lot of them don't stick together, and it's not necessarily because of... Technically, they're jealous of the idea that this person will be more accepted into society than themselves. So it's still, who's more of a victim within the black community? Light-skinned girl or dark-skinned girl? Light-skinned girl or dark-skinned girl? So they go by that as well. They go by different attitudes each have. They go by, it's an entire thing called colorism.
Wasn't that also...
Light-skinned, yep. I said it.
Alicia Keys?
Alicia Keys, yeah.
Alicia Keys, that...
she has a white mom.
She had natural hair, straight hair.
Yeah.
Or something. And that caused animosity between other black women who don't have that kind of hair? Is there also a difference there that more light-skinned women, black women, have natural hair that is straight?
Some people say that. I know Tommy Sotomayor says that light-skinned women, they usually, when they're, especially in the media, they present them with natural hair. You never see them hardly
they present
with
them,
on.
but is that, yeah?
I don't have any
hair?
stats to back that up, but I would, from just experience, you take it or leave it, but I've seen that mostly light-skinned girls, they keep it natural, and it looks great. I mean, I think natural is way better than weave, but most women aren't going to listen to me, so it's...
Black women with curly hair, if it's done right, it looks great.
Even with short hair, I'm fine. I don't like the idea of them spending thousands of dollars on another type of hair that is being shipped in it's just disgusting, and then sewn on with a surgical needle on your scalp, covering up your hair. You're buying hair when you have hair. That doesn't make any sense. Again, the net worth of black women is what? $5. It's negative when between the ages of like 18 to about nearing 30.
How did they come up with that figure, by the way?
They came up with that figure just checking the average net worth of black women and brown women. That's it. How do they come up with net worth? You don't know what a net worth is?
No. But how does it? How does the sum total comes down to $5? How in the hell?
Oh. How does it come up to $5? It's racism, obviously.
Yeah.
Women of color, and I'm opening this now. You can't see it, but study. Single women of color, ages 36 to 49, have a median wealth of just $5. So think about that. Single women. We know that in the population of black people, close to 3 out of 4 of them are born illegitimately. So we're talking specifically, in many cases, about single black mothers who have children. In many cases, multiple children by multiple men. Mm-hmm. So even when they're working and their ages, I would have expected 36 to 49 to have way higher than $5 because they're established themselves already between the ages of like 18 to 30. They had a job, they were working at it, they have things saved. I would have expected that, but they don't. The median wealth is just $5. This is from the Insight Center for Community Economic Development. And in this study called Lifting as We Climb, Women of Color, Wealth in America's Future, the median wealth, net worth of a single white woman ages 36 to 49 is $42,000, $600. The single woman of color in the same age group have a median wealth of $5. $5. That's it.
Wait. $5 divided by 0.77. They should have had $6.50. That's the sexism right there.
Hispanic women ages 18, black and single. So this is all single black and single Hispanic women, ages 18 to 64, reporting zero or negative wealth. 46% and 45% respectively. It's the decisions that they make. It has absolutely, and I know they're categorizing them by their Hispanic ain't a race. Black is, again, it's different communities, I'll say, because it's silly to do that, but it's different communities, and when
different
comparing
cultures.
them, and when they compare them, we get this. So the article claims to say it's about racism, but how is this? How are you getting negative wealth? And you're single, supposedly. So when they think single, it's like, oh, no kids. No, they have children. The illegitimacy rate for like Hispanics is 50%. The illegitimacy rate for whites is 25%. think it's 25%. I'll have to check on that one, but this is an issue.
It's by the way, that the whole thing about people's savings is a larger problem in the West with ever since the economic crash. We are dealing with a society that doesn't promote people to save up money. It actively tries to discourage people from saving up money. We are now with our interest rates very close to zero, and there were talks about going negative. So in other words, if you want to save up money, if you want to store money at the bank, it could cost you money. It's and at the same time, people are talking about, the economy is fine, where the crisis is over, where everything is steady. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a wider problem. We are delving more and more into debt, and we are preparing. It seems like that the media is, well, I'm starting to talk like Alex Jones maybe, but there are a lot of people trying to make this the new normal. Like, most people have a mortgage. Okay, that will go on for 30 years. Okay, but now what is developing is that young people, a lot of them will go to university, and they will not seek out what is needed on the job market. They will not go to university with the idea of this is an investment, not only in money, but also my personal time. I better choose a topic that will get me a job. I will need to seek out what kind of jobs are needed in the marketplace. And I've said this to family. I've seen, my nephew is, he's a doctor, and his kid just dropped out of college, and he doesn't know what to do. I said, look towards what is needed in the market. And I was being told that I was being too rational. That, no, it's about finding yourself. You cannot just say, you have to look at what's needed in the market and it's just an investment. That's just too rational. No, he needs to find something that he feels good with, he feels good at. I'm like, that is fucking bullshit. You will get an education that will end you up with a job that you don't like, and you have a lot of debt. And that's the main, I see it a lot. I see it with other family members, their kids.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of them doing communications in entertainment. I'm like, really? Because now with the internet, you can create entertainment, you can create media. You don't need to go to college for that.
Look at me. I'm retarded. I got a political science. I love my degree. I loved my professors. Oh. They all knew I was conservative. Or they all know. I keep in contact with some of them. And they're accepting of it. I would not suggest anyone do what I did. Still not good.
But
can't do it.
You're talking about a couple of years back. The situation is now so different than just a couple of years.
Yeah, and I was going to get a PhD in political psychology to become a professor, but I don't even think that's possible. 2 reasons. 1, the campus atmosphere is disgusting. And 2, I don't think that the demand for college is going to be needed in the future. So I'm basically entering a place where, 1, they're not going to like me, and 2, I'm not going to have hardly any students. There's going to be 1 student in there, and it's not really no one's going to really focus on that anymore. It's either going to be too expensive for the quality of it, because if it was actually what you pay for it, it'd be so much cheaper than what it is. The quality is not there. I don't know why they're raising the cost to. Oh wait, no, I do. The federal government subsidizes it, no matter what. So
Yeah.
I basically killed my career by having this channel. No, I didn't kill it. Stop. I didn't kill it. No, stop it. I'm a nice goyim. I didn't kill it.
Well, we could need more political professors that are actually
No,
talking about the different side.
no, no, they
No?
don't. No, they don't. They don't want it. I'll be too. It's
On the internet,
completely
on the
different.
internet they might.
Yeah, until Google shuts them down.
Yeah.
So you see the situation
but-
I'm in. It's like, that's why I'm moving a lot of my stuff to a different website. I'm just moving a bunch of it to a different website and seeing what happens from there. I don't even know if in the future I'm going to be making a bunch of stuff. I mean, I have a very small subscriber base. Very small. I like it small. But in a way, I'm thinking, if it was bigger, we'd have way more fun, wouldn't we? Just fucking around with Google. But no, I mean, you live and you learn. So I'm gonna end this off.
I don't know if it would be another big topic, but I don't know if peer-to-peer social networks can be a viable thing, but that is something I've thought about for a longer time, because the problem with Google is it's a very big corporation and they have a monopoly on a lot of important stuff on the internet. That's the problem. Their monopoly.
Yes, more people equals more devastation and destruction. And sometimes I want that. That'd be so much fun. But then again,
That is hate. That is
Ooh.
hate. You need to clean your room. That is hate.
I
You need
already
to look
did.
at yourself.
I gotta look at myself and more chaos and destruction, and it'd just be fun. Just be fun.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna head out here. Hopefully you guys like this discussion. I will leave it unlisted. I might delete it, which means probably I'm gonna delete it tomorrow. You guys can do what you will with it. And so yeah, thanks for coming on. I hope you liked the discussion.
Yeah. I
So I hope I clarified some things and didn't sound retarded. I probably did sound retarded.
did. I probably did too. But
All right.
with my horrible Dutch Ebonic accent.
All right, so bye everyone. Don't forget to clean your room.